Hello guys, this is JohnRemus.com TV. Looking into the concept, the informal term, pussy whipped or dick smacked. The implication therein being that your passions for sexual desire is actually negatively affecting your life. And I'm going to illustrate how this happens, I have observed. Firstly, the very idea of being around the opposite sex, I think it weakens the passion or the responsiveness that one would have to the opposite sex and desire. In fact, I think it even engenders, or it activates, if you will, in people perhaps homosexual desires, which I don't see as being a quote-unquote bad thing, because, great, people are attracted to the same sex, get married and connect with someone, and be passionate with each other. But I think that most people, whether they are hetero or homo, would prefer to be hetero, in the sense that it's just a more natural, like the very act of, say, putting it in the ass, quote unquote, the dick in the ass. It actually encourages disease. That feces contains, I think, hepatitis B disease virus or something along those lines. You see, the point being that the penis and vagina, I think, are a great match, and as long as they're both healthy and virile, and two people who are compatible in the bedroom, the size of the pee-pee and VV, and they like each other, I'm suggest that sitting separately and gender separate, or I call them gender conscious arrangements, are useful, and they actually have been traditionally in the past. And I think that it leads to a more harmonious society, where a group of men will go out, they'll hang out together, they'll maybe see a group of women and maybe greet them, be friendly, in whether it be at school or in social settings, but they'll stay together as a group of men or a group of women, respectively. And this, I think, encourages a quote-unquote collective brotherhood of man or women, and a mutual respect for each other, instead of, say, one guy or one woman or several mixing and hinting. Because, see, the number one was that this idea of arrangements where you're not too close to women, you as a man, or vice versa, you're not too, because number two is that, guess what happens when you do that? You might accidentally seduce each other. You might happen to send the wrong message to each other, that maybe one is attracted to the other, or maybe when you see a man and a woman talking, they might be trying to flirt or seduce one another, and doesn't even have to be a conscious thing. It can be pheromonal, or it can be biological, right? So that's number two to be aware of. Number three is, even with your spouse at home, to spend too much time with them, you might get overwhelmed and actually turned off by a woman, not attracted to her, or a man, whoever your spouse is. You might be at home and feel that, I want to care for you and care about you and do whatever you'd like and be around you. But then, I think women in particular always want the man to be around, and And what happens is the man loses that passion or that excitement, that magnetism that comes with you go out to work and you hang out with your friends and then you look forward to seeing each other. Maybe sometimes you don't see each other for a week, and then you are excited to see each other again, instead of being around each other all the time and in turn feeling that there's, you know, you're and it might not even be a conscious experience, but just this feeling of, you know, no anticipation. And another one, number 4, this idea of pussy whipped or dick smacked. They're kind of funny terms, but they have a serious implication. And number 4 is that sexuality can be a drug, and unless you control it, other people will seduce you. You'll leave yourself subject to that. I'd say both men and women. Men, speaking for myself, I find that if I'm not routinely activating the second chakra via masturbatory orgasm, I am subject to those desires. I might be overly interested in a woman, or what I mean is I might be interested in a woman or hope that they'll satisfy my desires. But really, the fact is after an orgasm, I'm no longer interested in sexual matters or hoping that a woman will, you know, take care of me in that way. And I feel like, you know, you really want to develop self-control. You want to have power over yourself so other people won't have that over you. And number 5, you know, regarding how do we manage this situation. 5 is realizing that if you're in casual relationships, non-committal, it doesn't feel good. It's a negative experience because you're not sure that, oh, this person's absolutely going to be here for me, even through rich and poor and everything. And it's kind of it's impassionate. It's a diluting of your energy. You know, girl, boyfriend. What is that? You know, we're men and women, and I think people reach that age of puberty, and they should be considered men and women, and that to put them in like a school setting environment and all together, like, what do you expect is going to happen? You know, they're going to want to be with each other, and that creates a whole sexual tension and everything. Just like, say, people watching strippers, if the strippers aren't married, there's going to be a sexual tension, you know. And what we want is we want to create harmony in the world, and the way to do that is to address this powerful issue of sexuality and make sure that people are not controlled by it. You know, that would just be like an animal, right? We want to be high consciousness, high awareness, and we can do that. Thanks for considering.